Hey everybody, I'm Ben Yee.
I'm Elissa Stein.
What are we talking about today?
We're talking about the City Council hearing that took place this afternoon about the L Train project.
Fantastic. Now you're involved with a working group on that, are you not?
I am. The 14th Street Coalition, they were the one group that got to present today, which was very exciting.
Exciting.
And so what happened this week, which was frustrating for people in the coalition and people involved in this fight, was that this meeting was scheduled, City Council hearing, neighborhood, open to anybody who wanted to talk. Borough President was there, the people from the DOT, the MTA were there, they all gave presentations about this. But 2 days ago, the DOT made announcements about what they were going to do on the project without getting community input.
And what are these things that they're going to do?
The two major things they decided are that it's not going to be a 24-hour busway on 14th Street,
Okay.
but it's going to be 5 in the morning to 10 at night. So
Well,
you know
most of the hours.
It's most of the hours, which is going to make anybody with a car or who lives on 14th Street or who needs a handicapped access vehicle or things like that, that's going to make it very difficult to access 14th Street. So that's a big chunk of every day, 7 days a week.
And the other thing?
And the other thing is that there's going to be a bike lane on 12th Street, there's going to be a bike lane on 13th Street.
Great for bikers.
Great for bikers, not so great for garbage trucks, police vehicles, ambulances,
What kind of bike lanes are these?
I had heard protected bike lanes, but then I've heard conflicting stories. If it's a protected bike lane, they're going to actually be narrowing the amount of room there is for traffic right now.
And there probably won't be any removal of them after the fact.
I'm sure not. So on these streets, they're going to be taking away one side of the street of parking, because right now there's parking on both sides, at least on 12th Street, alternate side parking.
Although I will say that I bike on both of those streets, and particularly 13th Street above 6th Avenue is kind of a mess already. Because it's like 1.5 lanes and people are constantly trying to maneuver in and out. So a narrower street there might be beneficial for guiding cars.
But I really hope that the DOT and the MTA listen to the neighborhood when we talk about this. I was walking to the meeting today, which was taking place at Cardozo Law School, corner of 12th and 5th. And on my walk there, I saw such a traffic tangle of a UPS truck that was sticking out into traffic, and then an ambulance couldn't get around, and there's parking. It was a mess and honking and craziness, and somebody needed that ambulance.
Indeed.
And this is before the new traffic snarl problems that are going to come up, because they said in this meeting that the side streets will have at least 50% more traffic.
Well, it's a lot more.
I find that hard to believe. I imagine it'll be even more, and especially for the street south of 14th Street that goes straight through.
Well, on the plus side, once they deprive Lower Manhattan of all of its hospitals, we won't have to worry about ambulances anymore.
There you go. Okay, so that's a plus.
Another issue for another time.
Right.
Was there a third thing that they had done?
Today, no.
Okay.
This was it. But the fight is still going. There's still people who don't want to see bike lanes on 12th and 13th Street. There's that new emergency facility on 7th and 12th. Their ambulance entrance is on 12th Street, so they're saying a bike lane is not a great thing to have as ambulances are coming in and out. How long was
this hearing?
The hearing started at 1 or about 1:15 and probably went till almost 6. It was
Were you
a
there for the whole
long
thing?
day. No, I was there for 4.5 hours or so. Came home, got long pants because it was freezing, and then went back for the end. Our city council speaker, Corey Johnson, stayed until the bitter end. So kudos to Corey, because it was a long day of heated testimony. But Andy Byford was there, Polly Trottenberg was there, and it was interesting to hear that, yes, in some ways they heard community input about things, but in other ways it had been 70 buses an hour coming over the bridge from Brooklyn, but now it's up to 80.
Yes, that's right.
And so when they were
more
saying,
than one a minute.
More than one a minute.
If you think that's possible, you should go watch the buses sometime.
Right, and so people from the neighborhood were saying things like, well, if somebody with a wheelchair needs to get on a bus, that takes less than a minute.
Or if more than one person needs to get on a bus.
Or more than one person needs to get on a bus.
Who knows what's going to happen? But
So the thought of all those buses on 14th Street is somewhat mind-boggling. We'll see. And they were saying things like, well, it's a work in progress. We'll see how
everything.
it goes.
Speaking of work in progress, if people want to participate in this work while it's in progress, what can they do?
Find out about the 14th Street Coalition. That's the first thing you can do. We are sending postcards to the mayor asking him to please put this high.
Do you have a website or a sign up somewhere?
14thstreetcoalition.org. You can find us, and there's a sign-up sheet. You can sign up for our email. There's a list of all the public officials that you can write to. There's a sample of what you can write to. You can go to community board meetings. Recently, basically all the community boards that are affected by this have come out with statements, individual statements about the project. There's now a task force of people in the neighborhood set up by Gail Brewer's office. And they're holding meetings as
Our
well.
borough president.
Our borough president, who's put district leaders and other neighborhood people to all put together.
So reach out to your community boards and the 14th Street Coalition.
Yeah, because this is going to affect people. And sitting in this room and hearing them talk about the project, I'll close with one thing. Andy Byford said that the L train alone is the 10th largest transportation system in the country. Just the L train.
Wow, that's a lot of folks.
That's a lot of people who are going to be displaced. That's a lot of people who have to get to and from Brooklyn, through Manhattan, and how are they really going to handle this massive population of people who now aren't going to have their regular commuting?
It takes your community input, so do get involved.
This is something you really should get involved about because it's a 15-month project, so they say. Hard to imagine that they can fulfill it. So this is going to really rip things apart for a while.
And with that, we gotta go.
See ya.
Laters.